Hello, everyone, and as always, welcome back to Strategy Gaming Dojo, where we find, learn, and play one more turn of the great strategy games. And today it's back into WarPlan Pacific and our play by email challenge against Bonsai. And right now we are on the scramble. We're trying to hold on to Australia. You see, wow, we were really zoomed in there. Australia, we've lost New Zealand. The Kiwis are gone. We have done a very ill-fated invasion into India here. I say ill-fated. Against most players, this would have been very successful. He's a master at getting over and defending any kind of invasion that happens, as he did here, where he blocks and then he got forces in here to get a large force. Now we're over here trying to supply these guys as we can, but he's got well, he did have a big force up here. It looks like he's just got a couple of ships at this point, and he's pulled his carriers back out. We'll get back to that. It looks like he's also blocked the base here at Tavoy, or I say yeah, I guess it's a base, the port. We did land in Champfon. We're out here, and of course, the minute we got out here, he's blocked down in Saigon. He's blocked Quang Ngai. Sure. Um, Including a light carrier there, by the way. He's blocked Fu Chao, Win Chao. It looks like there's snow there, so we can't land. Of course, uh, we could try to get up to Sing Tao, but it looks like there's a little bit of snow up there too. Anyway, we'll go all around it. As we like to, let's go back and look at the last turn. Partisan activity. This is the combat. What happened? Oh, hey, we got partisans. We can take back Perth. You know what? Before I forget it, let's take Perth. Hey, all right. Our partisans have really accomplished a lot. We've taken Darwin and Perth. Now they don't have victory points, and so ultimately, yeah, I mean you can hold them, but so what? I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do with it. Partisan activities out here in Australia and in India. A lot in India going on. Down into Burma, we've got some more partisans. Then we had a surface combat. Okay. Well, he found us out here. He's very good at that. The Mutsu battleship squadron came along here, hit our transport. Now, transports aren't as destructible as they are in some games. They're actually quite defensive in this game. They don't easily get destroyed, and so he did 3 damage. Now that does not do damage to the transports really themselves. It does damage to the unit on them, and so 12th Corps did take 3 points damage. Then he did a naval airstrike that probably from here, maybe Sarawak. That one really hurt. There we took a 6. Surface combat up here, we were sunk. Now, you may remember we put a submarine up here to give these units some supply. Well, yeah, they were sunk immediately. He has what appears to be light cruiser destroyer squadrons that came through and bunched up here and hit them. Now he's also got a big group here. I think this is one of his main carrier fleets. We'll check it out when we get over here. Ground strike. He hit our Marines out here. Now the supply situation out here was such that we had one unit that was kind of on an island, so to speak. There's just no way to get supply, a good way of getting supply to it, because we just don't have enough hexes. There was nowhere to move it. So something had to be here. It ended up being the U.S. Marines. 2nd Marine Division took 2, and then we had land combat, and they surrendered. They just flat out said, okay, we're out with a 13 hurt there. Ground combat. All right, so now he's hitting just south of Canberra. He knows it's going to be he will weaken himself beyond repair trying to get to this. So he's got, with just coming from 2 hexes, so he's got to get into this hex or he's got to get into that hex. We'll see if he can do it. I assume he will eventually. He's got a lot of air power out here unless we do something about it. Hit that unit again. He took 3 in damage, but we hold. In the current turn, more partisan activities around the map. There was a convoy attack down here. He actually took 1 naval air loss there. Nothing happened here damage-wise, and nothing happened there damage-wise. Okay, so that was the combat log. Let's go look at our warnings. Unit is out of supply. These are all of our ships that we had over in India. So we've got carriers, battleships, we got all kinds of stuff over here. We're going to want to go put those in port, get them fueled up, and get them right back out there. We're now to the point where we can actually battle him a little bit. I think I'm going to bring them all into. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. We've got submarines here, though. I'll just bring them all into Los Angeles. Okay, in they go. They will get all refueled because LA is a level 9 port, so we can handle essentially whatever you put in it. We'll put this submarine in there, and we'll put these surface ships in there. Now, if we wanted to bring other surface ships with us, we've got them over here at Pearl Harbor, just kind of, hanging out. The U.S. Independence, that's a light carrier. We just got that. We also have the Essex here, which is a full carrier. We have a British light carrier here, the Hermes. But we'll get to that. We'll figure out if we want to move any of that stuff out as we go along. All right, unit is out of supply. It was these units right up here that we just moved. Oh, we've got this cruiser. I kind of almost forgotten about that. We have these cruisers, destroyers that are down here. We'll put them in at Pearl Harbor. They were out trying to take Suva, but that didn't last that long. The Glasgow, if you will. That needs to go through to the west coast. We'll just put it through. All right. And then we had the American Second Corps that came through here. Well, the idea is to land up here and try to pressure Newcastle. Unfortunately, we can't do that with just 1 unit. I'm going to take it back through the west coast, and when we come back through this next time, we're either going to land over here and try to take Wellington, or we're going to land up here and try to take Newcastle to take the pressure off there. No supply source. Well, we do now. We control Perth. Wonderful. Uh, okay, he's getting supply into the port. He's only got port supply. Let's see. Unit is out of supply. Yeah. This unit's essentially stranded out here. There's nothing to do with it. We overran that air unit. Was it worth it? Well, I think trading 10 infantry points for 10 air points is worth it because it's a lot easier to build 10 infantry points. It takes about 300 to 350 points for air units. It takes about 80 points for infantry units. So, okay, you know, it, I'm sure there's probably a counter argument to that. I think I may try to get over here. Why not? I don't think he'll make it, but we may as well try. He's getting a little low, and we're actually going to bring him here, and then we'll bring the Marine unit here. Now you may say, why are you going this way? Well, if I put him here, he's going to immediately get destroyed on the beach. So let's get him over on land. They're pretty much out of supply here, but what I think I'll do is we may take one of these subs that's already very much damaged and weakened, move up here, but I want to wait until next turn when he gets here. Now, he may just get blasted next turn anyway. Um, is it? It's a 15 of 15. I mean, it's U.S. First Marine. It's a good unit. I hate to throw away submarines, but he could come up here and just supply it. All right, I'm gonna think about that one. Um, no supply. Okay, they have no supply source. He's got 1 day left. That's not gonna cut it. Now we could. I thought we could change places there, but it looks like maybe we cannot. Now he can go here and he can go here, but then he would immediately slide in there. Yeah, they're so weak. These guys are weakened enough now. They can't really, trade places. They can't move like that. If you look at what our potential attack here into Bombay would look like, not good, not good. It looks like he's going to repel this invasion. Now, that happens. I mean, obviously, if you could just walk into India as the Allies that started in 1943, you can do that against I would say medium to even good players, but super advanced players, no way. You can't just come in here. It's going to take a second or a third time. I know that. Don't ask me how I know that, but I certainly do. We could move this guy to the coast, but I think I'll just leave him right there. Low supply source, okay, and partisans. All right, let's see what we have to deploy this time. The Brits have a comment. Oh, I don't know. Is there a place to put down a comment? Probably. Is there a place that just jumps out in my head as a place I definitely want to do so? Not right at the moment. Okay, the U.S. is going to get to deploy another carrier. So it's the Lexington 2. Let's deploy that. We'll put it in with the other carriers in Los Angeles. We have a full core here. I think I think we'll wait on the core. We also have an infantry group, small, a fighter. I mean, we're starting to really build a lot of stuff. The reason I said I think we'll wait is, um, yeah, let's put him on a transport. All right, he's on the transport. We've only got 57 landing ships left, but we get another 40 next turn. So just something to keep in mind. Um, I said next turn. It's actually 2.5 turns from now. So this guy with, oh, interesting. Okay, so this guy with 30, we really need a unit that's a 20. You know what? I'm gonna undo that really quickly. Um, let's break this out. We'll put this unit in Seattle. I want that covered. Now he's a 20. We have 57 landing ships. All right, we've got to get over to Australia. I think India is sort of a lost cause for this go around. It's going to have to wait until a little bit closer to the middle of 1943. Um, I've got the one unit coming through. That's a 30. It'll come through next time. Then okay, and then we'll put those two back through towards Australia along with the carriers. Um, 60 that are available. Okay, I just want to make sure I have this straight in my head. Back to the US. We've got the big core then. Well, we'll just put it there for now. Is that true? Is that where I wanted it? Yeah, for now that makes sense. And infantry core small. We'll deploy that, I guess. Yeah, let's do this. Let's move that. And let's put the infantry core small in San Francisco. Then we'll take the fighter group. Well, we're building up some fighters here. We'll put them in San Diego. And then we've got a comment for the US as well. Soviet Union, who cares? China, Australia. Hey, first RAAF's ready to go. I don't think there's any place to put it. The only place you could put it is right here in Canberra. Unfortunately, that's not going to work. If we hit deploy, there's no place to put it on the map. O Canada, we'll get another group here soon. And then supply trucks to the commies. All right. Uh, deploy, combat log, reports. All right, let's look at forces. Again, if we add up ours, we're about, I don't know, I want to say 70%. Throw out the Soviet Union, right? But on land, let's say it's 411, 895, 940, or 950, we'll call it. I'm just guesstimating here. 960 and 1020. All right. So yeah, I mean we're about two-thirds of what he is at this moment. If you look at casualties, I mean the Japanese have taken the most, but they're also fighting about six different nations. So not bad, not bad there, my friend Bonsai. Air 78, we've taken 59. Okay, when I say we, the U.S., I mean China's taken a few. Dutch East Indies, they surrendered long ago. Naval, we've taken more, but we also had Pearl Harbor, right? Merch Marines, I've never seen anything like it. The UK just has no Merch Marines left. It's unbelievable. Okay, sunk ships, still just the Prince of Wales. So, I mean, things are not going well in Australia, although we've held on for a long time. Things are not going well in our invasion of India. Things are going really well in China. Strangely enough, that was probably what I was most worried coming into this game. War panel. Okay, nothing we can do there. Advancements, the UK continues to pop up here with amphib operations. Yay! Carrier operations will go to a 43 in about a month and a half. That's really about all. I mean, what's really important? Assault, carrier operations. I mean, they're the two most important things in the game. Speaking of which, in 30 days, 1 month, we'll go to 1944 in carrier operations. That makes the American carriers really powerful. They're like mini Death Stars running around the map. So that'll be fun. You can laugh at me when I lose a few and say, oh, I thought they were so tough. We'll see. Large warships and short warships both go up next turn, so that's cool. That's good. 43 assault in a little over 2 months. Soviet Union, who cares? China will go to a 1941 on assault troops in 2 turns. Excellent. I mean, once we get to 1941, it's going to make it almost impossible for him to take. Well, I shouldn't say the word impossible. It's going to make it very difficult for him to take China. And if we do not have to dump resources into China, that's huge. That will help us eventually take India and Burma, even if we don't do it now. The Americans really have to focus on this Australia, New Zealand axis. He can't really keep with us. The reason I opened a second front is because he's essentially got two very good carrier task forces with 6 carriers in them, which is the most you can have in the game. We've got one. So we need to split his carriers. And so even if you do an ill-fated invasion, probably go before you should. And I'm also into Burma, right? Or not, it's southeast of Burma. I guess it would be modern day Malaysia. Anyway, the point is, you've got to split up his 2 carrier task forces, the big ones, because if you don't, he can just overwhelm you anywhere where he engages you. But if they split up, you're on equal terms when you fight one-on-one. But now we're getting to a point where we're going to have 2 full carrier task forces as well. Okay, convoys. My goodness. My goodness, great. Let's just look at how many or merch marines that the U.S. has. 19 left. All right. They're trying to get oil to the Brits. I mean, it almost makes the British fleet completely obsolete because we can't get oil to them to get them out and moving. So some really good ships that we're not able to do anything with. I wish I could build landing ships here, but I've got 24 in the stockpile. US has 409. We've got to start building even more landing ships. So we're going to purchase 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh, 5. I mean, by the middle of 43, we'll need A lot of these. Six. Okay. And then let's go and get an infantry corps large, which is now costing us 234. Purchase it. Oh, we had 25 left. That's what I was hoping. And let's purchase one more landing ship. All right. Um, what I like to do from here on is one turn purchase an air unit, the next turn purchase landing ships and infantry units. Now you can kind of get too many landing ships. At some point, you don't need landing ships because you've made your invasion and you can just go to the port, right? You don't need the landing ships, but we're certainly not in that situation now. If we look at manpower for the US, they've got about 60 divisions left, but they've got plenty of logistics, shipyards. We'll get another specialty in the not too distant future. Soviet Union doesn't matter. Australia, Canada, Communist China. Okay, nothing to do there. All right, let's go to various places on the map. Let's go over here to India. I don't really think there's anything to do other than to sort of sit here. Now, at some point, we're going to have to move off this hex because this unit is going to need supply. So let's actually click on Bombay. We see unknown ships in the area. I'm almost certain this is part of his carrier fleet because he's worried that we'll bring our carriers back over here and kind of unlock this situation. But I don't think we can unlock it. I think these guys are doomed. Um, Now we could. Hmm, I may wait a turn. Okay, this he's got 2 days, 2 turns. I'm sorry. He's got 2 turns. He's got 1 turn. Now, once we give up this hex, it's impossible to take Bombay. It already is, but at least if we were here, here, and here, we would have a chance. But we would need air power to be bombing into Bombay like he's done to us to degrade his forces, and that's why he's keeping his carriers over here. Now, I think what I will do actually is I think I'll now this has got well, it's only got 3 I was gonna say we could make some kind of feint this way, but I just don't think that's going to matter. Now, if he gets out here, but we could wait a turn to do that. The problem is this guy. He really needs to come here and get resupplied somehow, but that's going to completely doom whatever sub we send up there. And so if we could get them all on the coast, we could resupply them for yet another turn because his big unit is not going to move out of Bombay, right? So to destroy these, what's he going to have to do? Well, he's going to probably bomb the heck out of them, but he's going to have to starve them out essentially, and then just run over them because a 5, a 2, a 2. I mean, those units are not going to knock these units out unless they just don't have any supply. All right, it's the only way to keep them alive, I think. So we're going to have to move these, move them over here right on the coast. Um, I can't go into the enemy unit, but he can go here next time, and I can move, this here maybe. Could he get up there? He could. He could also go there. I don't think he can get anything around behind us. The next turn he can move back there. This guy can move around. So I'm going to move him there. I'm going to move this unit up here for the time being, and then I can come in with the sub next turn and potentially, now he's only at 10% effectiveness. Um, yeah, I don't know that it's going to matter, to be honest with you. I may end up putting these US units like here and here, so he's got to come out here to try to attack us, and we'll try to resupply them somehow. These units are essentially doomed. I don't really see any way around it. Down here at Champfon, hey, it'd be great if we could expand out from this, but of course, he came and blocked Saigon and Bangkok, which is really where we wanted to land. Now, the Brits do not have any landing ships, and we can't just come land in Champhan because we've got a unit in it right now. We'd have to move it out and then next turn come in here. It'd be nice to go into Kota Baru, but I don't believe we can do so. Um, we can bring the Americans down here. The Americans have several choices. They could land up here and try to get behind the Chinese. Did I say the Chinese? The Japanese. We could, land somewhere over here. Um, hell, well, we could only go to the edge of right here. So we can't quite get to Incheon. We could get to Sengtao, but it's showing us we can't land there because it's snowing. Of course it is. We could land here and then just jump into a party. Actually, I think we could get up here and potentially land and then jump over here to Sengtao. That's a level 7 port. Interesting. Hmm. All right, let's just look at China really quickly. This is going to hold. I mean, this looks great. If anything, we could almost counterattack, but I'm not going to do that because the communists can't rehabilitate themselves. They just don't build up anymore. So, you can't really be much on the attack. I mean, this is a 13 of 20 now. Now that's a 30 of 30, but this is only a 10 of 30. So, we got to make sure he doesn't sneak around us here. We could even move the headquarters up here if it starts to look that way. We've got a regular nationalist Chinese army here, 28 of 30. He looks great. They do, repair themselves. This unit I moved out here to start trying to, potentially cut off supply. It looks like he's very willing to let me move out here. Okay. He's got a lot back here in garrison and reserve so that we don't get partisans popping up. Um, and so I'm sure he's just more than willing to let us just, start coming up here so he can eventually destroy us. 2 to 1, 1 to 1. I actually think I'm going to move this unit back. I mean, he's going to get isolated out here, right? If we're going to do it, we'd have to push out here. He's sort of baiting us to do that because what he cares about, Chungking and Chengtu, he doesn't care if we go this way because ultimately he'll just sneak around behind us. We'll get isolated out here. I'm perfectly happy with a stalemate in China. Actually, that's better than expected, really. Oh, I'm so. Now remember, this is a 10. That would take us down to 47 landing ships for the next few turns. I'm going to think about that landing. The Brits have nowhere to go, nowhere to go but home, and so I'm going to take them home. I'm just going to take them out here. It's going to be a while before they get landing ships. Now we could, now that we have Perth, come over here, take this rail, and rail them down here near Port Augusta. Now that is certainly an idea. Now that we have this port and I may do that. And then we can start attacking Australia from the other side. Let's just bring him down there, and we'll bring the other. Now he got damaged. He's only 11 of 20 now anyway. We'll bring him down there. I'm gonna think over the Americans. If we look down here, the Brits. Only have 9 transports right now, and I mean, we've got some stuff back here, but ultimately we've got to figure out what we're going to do with these guys. We may put them into Perth. I mean, there's a lot of bases down here, right? So if we can come land at Perth, we can take these so we're harder to interdict, including Geraldton. I'm not sure quite why he's there. Maybe there's a unit here we just can't see. But if we can put these guys into Perth next time, again, I mean, we start to threaten that we could at least come from the west in Australia. We could even land American forces over there and get on the railway. Sure, why not? I mean, we could also, from Darwin, We could get to, well, this is just a road, right? So, I mean, we'd have to go a long way. I don't think we're going to do that. What's he got in Port Augusta? We don't know how big that. We may spend a comment on that. As a matter of fact, let's just do it. Let's deploy the British comment over Port Augusta. What I'm trying to figure out is that a small unit. It's an it's showing a brigade, which would generally mean a 10-point unit. We could also try to land back here, overrun air units, and really put a charge in him. Um, yeah, the problem is that unit will die. So we just may have to try to come at it this way, take Port Augusta, but that can be interdicted. It's only a level 3 port, level 4, level 7. You see he's got a submarine station here, so we can't land here or here, which means we're going to have to land here. It takes a turn to get over here, and it starts to eat into our supply. I really think maybe New Zealand's the place to go. Uh, as a matter of fact, let's drop the U.S. comment on New Zealand. And let's see if we can figure out what the heck we've got there. All right, next time we get First Marine, it's a large formation. Okay, so if we get down here, it's going to have to be in force. I mean, we'll have to have a 30, and we'll have to have our carriers over here defending it all and bombing him. So just keep that in mind. Okay, then. All of this stuff, I think, is fine. There's nowhere to really go right now. I mean, I'd love to, but we've got to wait until we have enough landing ships to actually do any good. The Brits only have 9 because some did get destroyed when that unit got attacked. So there's no real place to go with that. This is all going to get resupplied this time. Our carriers back here are going to get resupplied. And I think that leaves just this American unit and what we're going to do with it. Can we land out here and take Baru? Now he's going to get around here and start interdicting this stuff right away. Do we know how big this unit is? No. Do we know? No. This can only support a 20. We have a 10 there. This is a 10. Well, let's go try to land out here. All right, so now we're into Baru and Champfon. Again, it's not going to take him long to get over here and interdict this stuff. Uh, ultimately, I'm trying to open up a second front, and if India isn't going to play out, this would have to be the second front for now. For now, right? But when he gets over here to interdict this stuff, these guys are going to starve out if he blockades the port. So just something to keep in mind on that. What does he have here? Um, or here. We could take the subs over here and hit this stuff. That way he could, I mean, he can jump up to this port anyway if this starts to get blockaded, but then this is blockaded. But we could take the sub over here. Now he's at 1 of 3 right now. We got to be careful. And the other one we'll have to leave to try to resupply these guys if that's what we decide to do. So let's move the sub out here where he can move into position next time. 2, 3. He's in stealth. All right, let's put him right there. And he can try to blow that up next time because, obviously he thinks he's got this completely put away. I mean, worst comes to worst, I guess if Chiffon gets blockaded by something small, we can also try to blow that up, or Baru. All right, let's just cycle through our forces. Not a whole lot to do here. I mean, this is just not a good situation. Um, this all looks fine. I think I will move this up right behind the line though, just in case something gets knocked back. He can't go too far. The Brits await landing forces, landing ships, transports. Okay, we're in Darwin. Oh yeah, we've got this air unit up here. U.S. 3rd Fighter. Now, if I go put that up here, he will run, not walk, run to Kota Baru and try to blockade that and try to starve out an American air unit. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm probably going to leave it down in this area. And then, if we were able to take Newcastle or we were able to come over here and take Wellington, one of the two, then we can land it. All right, so that's going to be there. Just make sure we haven't forgotten anything. Out in Australia, there's nothing to do. Kota Baru, I mean, yeah, he can move around great. And do what? I mean, there's nothing really to do. Um, we got to follow on to that and try to take, a Singapore, a Bangkok, or Saigon. I mean, those are the three out here. But we've got a little bit of a foothold. He is obviously going to blockade those ports. Then it's a matter of how we deal with that. I don't think there should be any other units to move. I think that's it. So anyway, I'm glad this game is back. There's been a few kind of slow turn movements in this one, but I'm enjoying the heck out of it. I hope you're learning a lot because I think when you play a really good player like this, there's a lot of if you want to play the Japanese, you can get a lot of ideas from watching this. Are we doomed? Not even close. We will make comebacks. It's just a matter of will it be in time? I mean, this game is based on points, right? I mean, eventually we'll overwhelm him with carriers and whatnot, but it's a matter of getting there. And now, one of the reasons it's powerful to get down in this area is you can block the Japanese oil supplies going back through the convoy lanes if you can get air out here. And so that is definitely something that we'll be trying to do in upcoming episodes. Anyway, this has been Strategy Gaming Dojo. Have a good one. I'll talk to you next time.